There is never too many people talking about one topic, because someone's going to resonate with you versus those other thousands of people or even millions of people who are talking about the same topic. People will be drawn to you because of who you are. So yeah, my advice would be just, hey, figure out what you really enjoy, what you could geek out on all day long. Start creating content around that.
In today's world online, customers and everybody expect personalized support on every channel and in every way. They want it done right now. But the problem is most solutions out there don't allow that to happen. They're not delivering. So your customer service reps are struggling to stay productive, and your customers honestly just aren't as happy as they probably once were. Now's the time to change that. This is exactly why there's a new AI-powered service hub from HubSpot. The Service Hub actually allows you to bring this type of level of service and success together for the first time, so you can deliver on the expectations that people are expecting. And actually, it's boosting revenue along the way. The reps that are using Service Hub from HubSpot right now are reporting 13 times faster to help them resolve tickets, and also it helps them close something like 42% more tickets per day. So that basically means that you're also retaining people at a much higher rate. And they're saying more than 80%. Not only that, you're getting this full 360 view of your customers in this smart CRM that basically helps and supports you in the marketing, sales, and service delivery and success of your team, but also making the experience much better for your customer, which boosts your revenue and your business growth. Go and visit HubSpot.com/service to learn how this all new solution can help you deliver for your customers. Hey, in this episode, I brought on someone who has been in the trenches of starting businesses, transitioning businesses, and doing a lot of the things that you have asked me to cover on this podcast. So I've been getting a lot of feedback, and one of the most common things are, how do I start a business, and mainly a coaching expert online course kind of business, or maybe transition to that and understand what should I focus on? What are the priorities? What should I be spending my time on? And what shouldn't I be doing as well? That's why I brought Keara Palmay onto the podcast, and she has lived this at an early age. It was crazy. She actually had cancer. She was 16 years old. And at that early age, she had to do things differently and focus. And you could tell this carried her into all the different ups and downs in business as well. And I love how bubbly and happy she is, because I could genuinely see it's from doing the work. And she's going to break down all these different things of how she did that, failures and successes included, and make it very actionable for you as well. She also runs all of the content for Kartra, which I've talked to you about on this. And they're one of the partners of this podcast and a lot of my clients. And we have some projects in there as well. And she's talking about how that's been just such a great tool for starting. It's not required, and this is not an ad by any means, this talk, but I want to just make sure that you're aware that she knows a lot about this, and we'll talk about how that could be a tool. If you want to try it out, there is a 30-day free trial to start and try out Kartra. It's over at hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra. That'll get you there. You'll see the page, and you'll leave this episode with a whole bunch of actionable steps. And then if you want to take that and run with Kartra as well, you got the tool to do it as well. So enjoy this. Keara's awesome, and hope you go away and put some stuff in action. See you there. I'm stoked to have you here, Keara. And you've done so much in it seems we were just chatting and just kind of goofing off back and forth, talking about the people we know. I'll just throw out some names like AJ Roberts is a buddy of mine here in town, San Diego, yours as well. We both are collaborating with Kartra in different ways. We'll talk about that, but it's I want to talk about your story and what you've done throughout the years that you've navigated, I feel like, many different business models, and a topic that shows up a lot here on the show is hey, how do I start a business most effectively? Mindset all the way into the tactics, maybe the tools, and then also how do you maybe reinvent yourself? Maybe you're going a direction that's just not really you, or it's just not working out, and how do we change things up? So I felt like you're a perfect pick for chatting exactly that.
Yes, this will be fun. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So tell me about like give me the quick like, elevator pitch of you just to kind of set the scene and then we'll kind of dive into some stuff.
Me as a person, I live in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm married. I have a cat right now. That's my only child for now. I do content marketing for Kartra. I've been an agency owner, marketer for a while. Even worked for Tony Robbins as a coach. But everything is ever evolving. Everything is creative. Everything's fun. And that's a little bit about me. My name's Keara, by the way.
Welcome. Yeah. No, it's well, what you've done, you've like so media marketing and doing your own stuff. I know you held retreats. Like it seems like
Yes.
you've done a lot of cool stuff that and talk about maybe some of the elements of when you started, but also these points of transition because I know you've had ups and downs and I'm kind of curious of some of those just to kind of set the scene.
When I started, it was definitely a really low point in my life. I felt like a train wreck.
Don't we all?
Yes. But back in the day, it was like 10 years ago, I had survived cancer. And it was just a very confusing time because I was very young when I had cancer. So by the time I survived, I was 18. And then I just kind of went off to college like everybody else did in my town. But I really never put any thought into the future. So by the time I graduated college, I was very confused. I became a personal trainer because I was gung-ho about just transforming my health. And at that time, I was living in Philadelphia because I grew up in New Jersey and that's close. And I was personal training clients, but every time I drove to somebody's house to train them, well, not every time, but oftentimes I would wind up getting a parking ticket that costs more than the amount that I was paid for my training session.
Oh, wow. Fun.
Yes.
That's really insight, motivating.
It was. So here I was trying to like reinvent my life, do something I loved, get healthy in the process. I was passionate, but I could not pay my bills. So one of my buddies, AJ Mirzad, he was the founder of Online Super Coach, which taught personal trainers how to start an online business. He saw that I was struggling. He said, "Hey, I'll hire you to YouTube things, sit in your bedroom, try to figure out how to do this marketing thing, trying to launch a thing called a podcast."
Nice.
And all of this stuff was new back then. So he paid me the amount that I got paid as a personal trainer, and I didn't get any parking tickets.
That's a win.
That's how I started learning how to do marketing.
Wow. I mean, that's a heck of a way to start. Obviously, you did like the guerrilla, just like, just, I don't know, you did it the hard way, going out there
Yeah.
driving, obviously getting tickets. You knew the tickets were probably coming too, but you were doing the work anyway, huh?
Yeah, so I was always frantically looking at my watch like, oh no, I'm 2 minutes over. But they get you. They get you in Philadelphia. But yeah, eventually one thing led to the next. I, of course, learned that I needed to invest in myself and I couldn't just patch things together through YouTube or podcast or books if I really wanted to play at a next level. And there's always a next level. So
Always.
I started investing and yeah, it's been beautiful and a mess and beautiful.
But that's life. And that's,
Yes.
it's it in a nutshell. And, and we're smiling, we're laughing and stuff like that. But, it doesn't take away the fact that life can be tough and real. And I don't know, like I kind of want to go back, if you're open to it, talking about the cancer thing so young in life. I mean, I would imagine that sets a pretty crazy foundation for the rest of your life. And some of the stuff we're talking about here, like getting help, transforming kind of the way you think and yeah, getting support in general.
I learned that I felt very different from the people around me, mostly because I couldn't relate to what they were going through. For example, if you're 16 and you're at school, then someone's talking about a breakup or they're talking about a sports game. Whereas my conversation was more of like, hey, am I going to survive this, disease that I have? So, and eventually I could not go to school anymore and I had to get homeschooled. But I think because of how kind of different I started to feel, and also how precious I realized life is, I decided once I graduated college and kind of got my wits about me, I started realizing like, hey, life's short. I want to do something I love, and that might be completely different. And I might get criticized for it, but I'm going to go for it.
And that's like what you just said there is something I feel like people, halfway through their life or never realize, It's like, oh, wow, I just wasted away. Not wasted, but it's like life went by so fast. Like it's quick.
Yeah.
It's precious. Anything can happen. So like that's
100%.
yeah, let's talk about that because I feel like this is a big topic on this show are people in a business that might be due for a transformation, but maybe they don't realize it. They haven't taken the time to analyze their situation. And it doesn't have to be cancer that is the wake up call, but like something.
Anything could be a wake up call, really. Someone could pass away. It could be a disease. It could be something extreme like that. Or it could just be the fact that you don't want to tolerate another day living in the shadows of yourself. And that could be a decision. I always believed in that Ralph Waldo Emerson quote that says the universe conspires. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. So if someone right now is feeling maybe they're stuck in fear or, have this dream they want to pursue, but something's been holding them back, usually it's ourselves, and I've been guilty of this too in different ways in the past. But if you make a decision like, you know what, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it happen, then any of us can do it.
It's a decision, like you said. And like, I mean, you didn't have any other choice, obviously, at 16 and that, in high school, you're so young anyway. And I doubt you really knew what you wanted to do with the rest of your life because you're just surviving, like you said.
Yeah.
You're in the moment.
And the beauty is we don't have to start from a completely clean blank empty slate because we get to pick up different talents and skills along the way and then kind of blend them up in our brains and in our soul and like figure out which skills we want to take with us, which we don't. And so that was what was great was, marketing. I had no experience with it when I got pulled into it, but I did know that I used to enjoy writing. And I did know that I like to do some graphic design stuff on my computer. And so these things just started coming together. And, eventually as you kind of reinvent yourself at different stages in life, that'll continue to happen. So, yeah, it's beautiful how life unfolds and you pick up so many different talents and wisdom along the way.
Yeah. And like you did, you jumped in, you just figured it out. You obviously, luckily had someone, but it wasn't luck. You obviously made it happen by putting yourself out there. You had someone to fund you in learning this stuff, but you still did the work. And obviously that's like a ton of work.
I was single at the time, thankfully, because I would just be on my laptop from like 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night. And I just wanted to learn everything that I could. I went to coffee shops. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to going to coffee shops. And I remember I even cried once when I was trying to learn Facebook ads. I was like, this is so frustrating, but I need to figure it out.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of been there. At least Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, or just whatever. Starting a podcast. Really could be anything. I know. It's so give some love to that next person in the coffee shop that looks stressed and hunched over their screen.
Yes. Send them free coffee.
Seriously, like they're gonna change the world somehow. That's great. So where did that lead you? I mean, so you started off learning a ton and you were sounded like you were kind of mentored along the way as well, which was super smart. And,
yes.
Yeah. So where'd you go from there? Because I know you've done all sorts of fun stuff that kind of, led you in different locations too.
Yes. Eventually I moved, away from being behind the computer all of the time for that company I was working for. I started doing some speaking for them, and then I was coaching for the company, teaching these personal trainers how to start an online business. So again, that was like 10 years ago. Eventually I felt like I was stuck and I wanted to kind of break through to a next level. So I got certified in neurolinguistic programming. And as you know, when you go to different events and invest in yourself, one thing always leads to the next.
Always.
So yeah, eventually I wound up working for Tony Robbins next as a results coach. And then that was just another place where I got and I loved it. I was coaching. And I realized that probably 99% of the clients that I spoke to on the phone, their goal was to start their own business and to start their own thing. And I couldn't offer any consulting advice about business, which made me just I wanted to jump out of my seat and be like, here, let me tell you some marketing strategies.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't. When you're a coach, you got to do your job. And it was an awesome job. But eventually I decided, you know what, I'm going to open up a marketing agency. So I did that. Just started creating everyone's marketing for them, built a team there of just awesome women doing great work.
Cool.
Yeah, and then eventually joined Kartra.
Uh-huh. Oh, so that's how it all kind of mashed together. Right on.
Yes.
I mean, so like if you were to speak to that person that is, because I know there are people listening and watching right now, because I hear the feedback, because I've been asking for like, hey, what's the one thing you want to learn and like really dive in? And this is the number one thing is like start a business for themselves, or that transition thing we kind of talked about a little bit, but like when starting from scratch, I mean, you talked about the power of learning and just getting in there. What are some other maybe principles or things that you've picked up over the years that you would tell yourself like, 10 plus years ago, this is what I would do?
Hone in on what you enjoy and just start. I mean, in today's age, just start creating content around it. There is never too many people talking about one topic because someone's going to resonate with you versus those other thousands of people or even millions of people who are talking about the same topic. People will be drawn to you because of who you are. So yeah, my advice would be just, hey, figure out what you really enjoy, what you could geek out on all day long. Start creating content around that. We all have a phone. If we're listening to this, we all have a laptop. Well, maybe not, but most of us have a laptop. So like, just get out there, use these tools that you have. It's free to get off the ground and start making money.
It's a good point. Especially YouTube. Like I love YouTube, the fact that like they're pushing the podcast side of things now. But like you said, everyone's got a phone. It's usually the best camera you have around that you own anyway. It's probably better than your webcam most of the time. So
exactly.
And you paid for it already, and YouTube's free, like you said. So just start publishing. I mean,
yeah.
And there's an audience for everybody. Yeah.
I was listening to someone on your podcast, Joe, one of your guests, who was talking about taking small steps and doing the thing.
Stacy Lauren.
Yeah, I really liked what she was saying. As she was saying, hey, if you're not comfortable just going ahead and publishing a video today, why don't you just record yourself today? And only you're the only one who's going to watch it. And then maybe tomorrow you'll publish it to YouTube, but you'll put it as unlisted. And then maybe the next day you'll publish something and have it be public. But the bottom line is she was talking about baby steps, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, that's thanks for listening, by the way, and calling that out. Because you're right. Like, that was my baby steps. I remember that. I was like looking, it was before the cameras. I'm so old. Before like the phones had cameras and all that. It was like the flip cams. I don't know if you ever used those.
Yes, of course. I love those.
But like they had the red light. I'm like, make the red light your friend. You're just talking to your buddy, And yeah, most of those videos would never get published, but at least I can watch them and analyze them. Probably too much, but
yes,
we're our own worst critic. I mean, there's a saying for that for a reason, and you still you're always that, I would say. But the fact is, just like do it anyway. Throw it out there. People aren't looking that closely.
100%. People are so focused on their own lives.
Yeah.
That it's very seldom that someone's really going to look at your video and spend all day like, oh my gosh, do you see what shirt she's wearing? Or like, that wasn't right. Or like, who cares? Nobody
Doesn't
cares.
matter.
They're so focused on their own lives. So if you can create content that's helping someone with their life, helping them succeed in some way, then, you'll you'll attract the right tribe that resonates with you. And it all just grows from there.
It does. And there's an audience for everybody. And like I was watching the old Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, gone now from Twitter, but he was talking about something recently. It was like the death of the follower. It's like followers aren't really a thing. It's more like the platforms and your media will capture the attention of the right people at the right time. And I'm sure they'll follow. Certain people will. But I'm finding that trend even in podcasting and YouTube is like people will dip in and dip out for the right content, the topic. Of course, this is all why you should have an email list and be able to capture them and follow up outside of media, which we'll dive into some of the models that you'd maybe, frame around the media you're talking about for a business, like a coaching business, expert business, which is a lot of what you deal with. But like, yeah, I guess talk about that a little bit, like this, like how you approach media in terms of topics, because going back to what you said, it's like do what you love and what gets you all excited. It's like I wouldn't argue that one bit in terms of a business, but also the content, because that's going to show with your content and what you do in your business, and will have longevity.
100%. Yeah. So I am the content marketing manager for Kartra, which is an all-in-one marketing platform. And what we do there is a hybrid of different content marketing strategies. Now, for a creator who's getting started, I would not recommend to do all the strategies. Number one, usually we're all bootstrapping when we get started. You're very blessed if you're not, but typically as a team of one, maybe a team of 2 or 3 to 5, you got to find what you enjoy and run with that platform. So if you love writing, then consider blogging, ranking through SEO. If you love creating videos, maybe do it on YouTube. If you like short videos, reels, whatever you're interested in. Podcasting, Joe, like you rock at podcasting, and this has, gotten you so much traction. But the thing was, you were consistent with it.
True.
Yeah. So whatever you do it consistently for the long haul, knowing there eventually will be a payoff. As long as you're truly doing what you love and you know your stuff, then that's usually gonna happen. So stick with it.
Hey, I'm going to pause the episode really fast and shout out another show that's on the podcast network over at HubSpot. It's the audio destination for business professionals. This is Mistakes That Made Me. It's hosted by Iman Ismail. She is interviewing successful business owners and talking about, hey, what are those mistakes? What are the failures? What are the things that you hate to talk about that we can all learn from? I mean, like, let's be honest. Do you like to talk about your mistakes? Probably not. Well, that's what she's talking about. And it's going to be there. It is there waiting for you to listen so you can learn from those lessons and learn how to get past them or navigate around those big boulders on your own journey to success. So go listen to Mistakes That Made Me wherever you get your podcasts. If you're looking to unlock some more income and time freedom, then I want to tell you about Kartra. It's the ultimate all-in-one business platform for online success. Now with Kartra, you can create stunning pages and funnels, you can automate your marketing, launch online courses, and a bunch more, all in one place for one affordable price. Now Kartra has every tool you need to scale, it's super easy to use, and right now you can snag a free 30-day trial plus a 20% discount on your first payment when you use this URL. It's www.hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra. Again, that is hustleandflowchart.com/KARTRA. Alex Hormozi talks about it pretty often. It's like, just stay in the game. And as long as you're in the game, like at least some people will be aware of you. And another friend, Roland Frazier, talks about this pretty often. Is like, yeah, the second you stop giving value to people, it's like you kind of get forgotten because there's other people that will show up. So it's like, as long as you can still always show up and give. And that's why I love media, podcasting. It's like you're giving on scale, on steroids. Yes. It's like, and then with repurposing like clips and all that, it's like, boom, now you can hit all the platforms. But it's like, nail this first.
And that's a beautiful thing is once you do have a team, then you can start to have other people repurpose your content for you. But you need the content first, getting on the ground, writing the emails, writing the blogs, making the reels, whatever it is, whatever lights you up. You can repurpose that indefinitely, really.
Yeah, 100%. And now with AI tools, like I talked about, a lot of them, obviously Kartra's got some cool AI tools built in now.
Yes.
Like on the media side, you got like Opus Clips, which, you throw in your whole video or audio, and then now it's going to dice it up in every which way, and even has like social scheduling and all that. Yeah, I'm not associated with them, but still, it's like, that's like $19 a month. And I was just telling my wife this for her business. I'm like, yeah, that strategy you're trying to come, like that tool kind of just handles it. So it's like,
oh my gosh, take my money.
right? I know. I'm going to have the CEO on pretty soon. I'm working on that. So like, yeah, we'll talk about that more. But as a team of one, it's the hardest thing in business to do. You're kind of siloed, but like, again, coaches, would you recommend, I'm sure, get around some people, some coaches, maybe groups?
It's really difficult to get started on your own if you're not rubbing shoulders with others who have a similar goal that you have and who have experience doing what you want to do. If you are talking to people who haven't produced the results that you want and they're giving you advice, then it's sort of like the blind leading the blind. So, rubbing shoulders with people like you, coaches, consultants, experts, investing in tools, investing in software. Like you just mentioned something that's $19 a month, probably saves hours of time.
Oh yeah.
And your time, those hours of time, I'm sure are worth way more than $19. So investing in the right tools, software, the right masterminds or courses that feel aligned with you, then I think that's a great way to go. Finding people who have the results that you want, learning from them, traditionally or non-traditionally. And again, like using whatever tools it takes to produce the results that you want.
Yeah. Yeah. The consistency and everything.
Yes. The consistency.
I mean, that's like, you brought that up, and that one thing alone is the game changer I know on this show, this podcast. And I would say it's most creators, people on YouTube as well. I mean, any business, right? Like if you have an email list, you want to be consistently following up with them and staying on top of their mind. I mean, if not, there's a lot of noise out there, and that's so much noise. I think maybe talking to that, like, what do you think about with AI and how easy it is to, I mean, it's easy and not easy to create content, right? Like it's really easy to crank out a bunch of AI content, and then that creates more noise. And I feel like that maybe can deter people from wanting to even pursue the whole media route. What do you think about that?
Well, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. I think AI is great. I mean, it saves me hours, or I used to bash my head against the wall when I would write copy, and I'd have to write copy all day in the past. And just the greatest enemy for me was just that blinking cursor on a blank Google Doc. So I think using AI to create rough drafts, using AI to create outlines, there's so much more that you know, Joe, than I do about AI, because that's your jam. But all I know is that, hey, AI is not going to replace you, but people who use AI 100% will.
There you go. That's true. Well, walk me through, like, how would you approach, like the blank cursor or the blank page syndrome, with like copy, because like writing any kind of copy, I feel like everyone listening can relate. So like, what's your simple process? Because it's perfect for you, and don't worry about, like, we all know more than each other in different realms, but like, what's the Keara process in your team?
The Keara process is to write, I'm not going to curse, but a crappy first draft.
That's good.
instead of what I used to do, I used to try to think of the right words and make it sound good. Now, because I know I have AI to help me, now I'll just write a really crappy first draft. So I won't even allow a blank page to exist. I'll just go in there and say, hey, how you doing? We just created Kartra AI. It helps you create copywriting for pages and emails within seconds. That's an example. And then I'll take my crappy rough draft and put it into something like ChatGPT or Jasper AI I use as well. And I'll just ask it like, hey, can you write something that's in the same voice and tone as this, but make it flow better, make it make more sense. And I'll just keep writing. I'll just keep asking questions and prompting it to refine the output further and further until it's usually good enough where I can put something on the page and make tweaks or paste it to another AI tool and have that make tweaks until finally it's a really solid draft for me.
I like it. I mean, everyone can do that. And what I like to do is kind of like that same thing, but like instead of typing, sometimes I'll just like ramble. And I had some episodes on this, but like I'll record a Loom video just for myself.
Wow.
And like this is something, and actually Loom just came out with some AI that's pretty dang cool. I haven't tested it enough, but go peek at it if you want.
Wow.
But like a Loom video, Loom's free. It's like you can do that, ramble, take the transcription, and like throw that into Claude or ChatGPT or something like that. There's some other tools too. Cast Magic's a good one that I love. Same kind of thing. You can like ramble and it will give you all outputs of other things.
Wow, that's like $1 million strategy right there. That's amazing.
It can be if you implement it. Yeah.
Because I like to walk. I'm most creative when I walk and not when I'm just like sitting at a desk.
Bingo.
So like going for a walk, talking in your Loom or your voice app, and transcribing that, putting it in a wow. And
try it out.
Maybe does it automate the transcription?
It can, like Cast Magic does. That one,
Wow.
that's a tool that I use. I would recommend it. Those guys have been on the show as well too. So
next level, Joe.
Get on it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like anytime I can get away from screens, and this is why I love coffee shops. I was just there the other day. Like I was like, man, it's so weird how more productive I feel when I have like the smaller screen all the way to no screen is like I feel like the most productive. But if I can capture, it's all about the capture of the things, and I think that's like death of all great ideas lives in our heads,
Yes.
So you like get them out somehow, but let it flow.
So true. Yes. I love that.
That's what I think about often. I don't know. I'm happy it's not just me.
No, that fired me up, actually. I'm like really pumped about it.
Good. Yeah. Well, shoot. I mean, when it comes to, so that's like the content side as you're getting into, because we were talking about, Kartra, but also yourself, and you are one. I'm just like a coach. You're an expert, and I am as well. I would identify as that, and I think a lot of people, consultant. What more of the model? So we're talking about the media side, kind of getting started. So as we get into now, like after media, what are some next steps that you see in the customer journey, but also, I guess, the entrepreneur's journey?
Yes, great question. So the content is going to create that brand awareness, and it'll get you traffic, especially if you're pointing that traffic, let's say from Instagram to a page. Then you want to have some sort of a sales funnel. Maybe it's a landing page where people can opt in for a free exclusive podcast with Joe talking about all his favorite AI tools and strategies. And people can only get that, for example, through your email list, your sales funnel. So once people land on that page, they opt in to get your free guide or your free whatever it is, free recording, podcast. Then you can follow up with emails, let people know a little bit more about your business and like relate to them. More importantly, create a connection with them, deliver value through emails consistently. When you pair that email touch point consistently with your content strategy that they've already engaged with, so they're probably going to see more of it on their feeds the more they engage with it. Now you're top of mind. Now you're becoming more of an expert. And the more consistent you are with that, just like Joe has been with his podcast, then eventually you can, promote something, let people know there's something for sale. Selling online courses is an extremely profitable business right now. Just teach what you know, monetize your knowledge. That's what we're all about at Kartra. Is like, the beautiful thing is any average person knows a lot about something. All of us do. So when you share your knowledge, you can monetize that through a membership community where you share something month to month, maybe special group trainings or whatever it is. Maybe you share an online course just straight up and have video modules with downloads and activities people can do. Or maybe you do coaching or consulting and actually offer services. And that's not necessarily monetizing your knowledge, but it is monetizing your skill set, monetizing the wisdom you have in that specific profession. Maybe you sell a mastermind. I don't know what it is. Retreats. That's what I used to do. And I got to get back to it, Joe.
I want to see them, and we'll talk about it briefly too.
Yeah, that was so fun. But anyway, that's what I would recommend. So in summary, I know I rambled a bit, but got to make content so that people can vibe with you, people can discover you, take that traffic, send it to some sort of sales funnel to get people on your email list, give them exclusive value, continue to connect with them consistently. Email, you could do text, and then have some sort of conversion mechanism, whether that's a webinar, whether that's a sales page. And then on the back end, you've got a product, online course, digital products, whatever it is.
It's super scalable too. Like all that stuff you talked about. Obviously they vary. If you're doing masterminds or retreats, you can only do so much with your time, but at the same time, that could just be part of your funnel. And
yes,
because I know, Kartra, of course, can handle all of that and more. And I know there's templates, all that fun stuff. I've used it a ton. I know you're using it. Obviously, you're working there, but also your clients. Yes. I have clients as well. Something that I know I've used it a lot for is affiliate marketing as well.
Yes.
To getting affiliates to promote my thing, but also me as an affiliate to a whole bunch of different products that have used Kartra. It's easy. I like the fact that the stats are great, but I don't know if there's anything on that front in terms of affiliate traffic, but also just other traffic, getting awareness to offers. And with media, obviously, that's a huge thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point that you mentioned, because a lot of times I don't think about affiliate marketing because that's not something that you're going out and creating yourself.
Right.
The cool thing about affiliate marketing is you don't have to really create much of anything. You can take a product that's already been created and then you can sell that for a commission. And I love the markets that are becoming more and more popular now, Joe, with the micro influencers who are getting paid to promote different products. So you don't even need to have a massive following to really tap into a growing market right now. You could become an Amazon influencer, for example, set up a
lot of
storefront. Yeah, so there's just this whole growing. You could be a content creator, like creating CGC videos for different companies, or UGC, user-generated content for products you've purchased. There's so much that is kind of like related to affiliate marketing that is this whole industry that's absolutely blowing up right now. And it's very exciting.
That's honestly, that's how it started. That's how it's true to my heart, because this whole podcast has been layered with affiliate marketing in so many ways. And
yes,
I mean, I think it's like one of the coolest, if you have media, I want to say the easiest, but it's one of the most organic ways to kind of integrate into your media and talk about cool stuff that you genuinely use and you love and it's going to help people. It's like no one loses there. And you don't have to necessarily fulfill on the product. Maybe you do some support or whatever. I mean, there's always creative things you can do.
It's a really beautiful thing. Just sharing what you love and then watching checks come in every single month. I have done some affiliate marketing in the past, especially for Kartra, and it was just awesome to just get paid and to almost forget that was like a source of income. that would come to me. I would just like see the money in my account and be like, oh, wow. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
We're going out to dinner tonight. We're going on a vacation.
Or like my car payment's paid off, like, or like for the month. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh.
So like, because that's how I saw. That's like ever since I started my business is like, how do I chip away at the expenses or cool things I want to do or stuff I got to pay for, and then it's like, and I've promoted software for a long time, a whole bunch of different tools and platforms, and the cool thing is that most are recurring. They pay you for a long time, especially if it's a good, software. People aren't going to leave. It's like a core tool in their whole workflow. So it's like, great. That means I can kind of start to anticipate my runway with that revenue. And yeah. So a lot of people ask about affiliate marketing as well. So I feel like it's one of those like mysterious things until you get in there and make it your own beast. Because there's so many ways to dice it off too.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing, and like you said, Kartra does it really well, and they're really growing in that area as well to make it more and more powerful to people, for our customers to have like an army of people selling their stuff for them. And then also, we have affiliates, people who refer other customers to Kartra. So yeah, everyone wins, like you said.
I mean, it's a great business. I love it.
Yes.
So. Well, since we're talking about Kartra, because I want to go back to your retreats and kind of like what you did do and what you will be doing soon, I bet.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there. What are some, I know AI is obviously wrapped into a lot of tools these days, and Kartra now has the whole, writer built into it now to basically support with what we were talking about, all the copy, right?
Yes.
Any other features, like things that we should know about that's coming or in there that maybe are lesser known that we haven't talked about? And then we'll give people a way to join too.
Well, I can't spill the details of the future, but they are really great. We are investing a lot into our platform to make it better and better. We're listening to our customers and creating things that make it a lot easier for anyone to earn online. So lots of cool stuff coming. But like you mentioned, the coolest thing that we just came out with was Kartra AI, which essentially you can train the AI on your business and tell it about your business in the settings of your account. And then when you go to, say, write a page or write an email or a text, then you can enter a prompt into the AI that we've got and tell it what you want it to write and how you want it to be written. And it can write the entire page for you. It can write just a section for you. Obviously, if you're doing email or text, it'll write the entire email or text for you. But it's amazing at helping generate ideas. And like I mentioned before, it really eliminates the blinking cursor so that you can just gain momentum and save a lot of time.
I mean, the features are really cool, and Kartra is like the future stuff because I've heard little hints, but I don't know details, so I'm eagerly waiting. So the AI stuff is awesome though, and that's going to shortcut everything. To get started, I know I shout this out all the time on the podcast, but like I'll shout it out right now. I'm sure you've heard it before, but if you haven't, like go try Kartra. There's a 30-day free trial at hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra. And you'll see the options and all that stuff on that page. But anything else I missed, Keara?
Well, yes. Kartra includes pages, emails, texts, courses, memberships, products, checkout. So really everything you need. The list goes on and on. But definitely check it out. Give it a free 30-day trial. Like Joe and I said, it's free to start earning online. So yeah, check it out. And thanks for listening. Thanks for having me, Joe.
Of course, yeah. hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra. Just one more time.
Yes.
Before I get you out of here, Keara, those retreats that you were doing, like, what were they briefly? And like, it's almost like, why were you? I'm assuming it was just fun. So you made a business around fun. I'm assuming things, but give me the little blip of it and like what you're gonna plan on doing in the future, because it's gonna happen again, right?
Yes, it is. I used to run retreats before the pandemic. I had women's retreats where we would go to different national parks and just really explore together.
Nice.
And yeah, there wasn't much of an agenda, but I would promote them. I would use Kartra, make a pretty landing page. And essentially, I would just make the exact itinerary of exactly what I would want to do if I went to that place.
Nice.
And then I would just put it out there and say, hey, like, let's see if anyone wants to buy this. And I always just filled them out. I would take enough attendees where we could all fit in like a minivan or something like that.
Cool.
So yeah, they were always just like small and intimate. And eventually I don't want to be driving a minivan because it's really scary. I was driving at Zion National Park late at night and there's it's too scary. But yeah, it was so much fun to do that and to see people actually buying it, especially when I really had no experience doing something like that. It was something I winged it and it worked out and it was just awesome. We had several of those retreats.
That's a perfect use case for Kartra and also starting a business around something you love. Like that's the thing. It doesn't take a bunch of people to like get a business idea off the ground. I mean, you can fill a minivan with that's like 6 people or something.
Yes.
And you're going to have crazy memories. You're going to be able to record it in person, more media, check.
Yes.
And like good vibes. Obviously you're having fun. You're like getting other people to pay for your trip, which is
exactly. Cool. Yeah. And profit some if you price it right.
Yeah.
And then you could always invite a photographer or videographer. And sometimes they'll just apply on their own. So I did have different photographers apply to be part of my retreat, and I'd kind of work something out with them like, hey, I'll offer you free marketing consulting if you take videos and footage at the retreat. And everyone always said, heck yeah.
It's a no-brainer. I love it. That's it's all the perks of being an entrepreneur and like doing some cool stuff. You can always get creative. So
yes, making up offers on the fly and making things happen.
The more you do it, the easier they come. And then the more people are like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot.
Exactly.
Just looking for the yes. Well, Keara, I appreciate you. You've been awesome. And I think it opened up a lot of ideas from people watching and listening. And definitely go check out Kartra. It's 30 days for free trial to give it a swing. And like you'll be able to dip into the AI and all the fun stuff we talked about here too. So hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra, just to shout it out like multiple times.
Kartra. It's with a K.
With a K. That's true. We'll put it on the screen and show notes. I'll link it up, all that fun stuff. So
awesome.
Thank you. And maybe I'll hear about a retreat soon.
Yes. All right. Thanks for your time, Joe. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.